As somebody who's been a Smash Bros. Fan for his entire life, and Smash Ultimate is one of my favorite games of all time, I noticed that there was, over the years, of people really starting to hate Smash Ultimate, and I came across this video on my homepage, literally, why does everyone hate Smash Ultimate? Now it's titled. I'm a little bit confused by it as well. It's something that I noticed, and I would love to hear somebody else's opinion on it, so today we're going to be reacting to it.
Smash Ultimate was a love letter to the Smash community, a return of every single character along with exactly what the community wanted, a announced developer focus on character balance and gameplay speed.
And it ended up being one of the best games of all time. It literally ended up, being the best Smash Bros. Game, and I know a lot of people like to talk about Melee being the best Smash Bros. Not the case at all. Not even close. I'm sorry.
So with all that in mind, it begs the question, why is Smash Ultimate so despised now? The thing is that this isn't exactly something that is new. Smash has been notorious for its hype cycles on each game release, where fans are fanatic before the game comes out with all the trailers and all that.
Yeah, but I still don't think that there's really been like a case of people hating Smash Bros. It's just like the hype for it died off, right?
And they love the games for a few years, and eventually they fall out of love, and cracks appear at the seams. And in Ultimate's case, well, there are a lot of cracks to talk about.
I'm interested,
the years
okay.
have changed, and with that, the meta has changed, to say the least. With all these games that go through the cycle of aggression initially being really broken on release. I mean, you remember MKLeo going out there, mashing there with Ike, and yeah, that was...
Dude, but the thing is, meta's changed. Balances, there's always tweaks and balances made to the game, and that's something that Smash Bros. Is definitely suffering from, is that there's no patches anymore, but the game is like well balanced for the most part, I would say.
Good. It was so fun to watch and also really fun to play. As time goes on though with all these games, and as people get used to the mechanics of them, platform fighters usually turn a bit slower, a bit more campy, and a bit more methodical. There's a lot of space to be used in these games with all the platforms, and people start using it. And as a viewer, well, I think in a lot of cases that gets kind of boring.
Now, when it comes to a character like Sonic, then I definitely agree with that, but there are also like a ton of characters. For me, it's, if I don't want to watch a particular Sonic player, that's fine, I won't watch it. I still really enjoy playing the game. It's just, there's a lot of characters that you could have fun with as well.
I mean, you've seen Sonic time people out. You've seen Samus charging charge shot in the corner under a platform. You know there's just a large variety of slow, safe, almost risk-free strategies that are growing in popularity over time.
Now, something that I was always curious about, and I don't know if there's any tournaments that has ever done this. It would be nice if you could get penalized for like actively not pursuing combat.
Right. And to be honest, why wouldn't you use one of these strategies if you were a competitive player or even a casual player that just wants to win? Because people like winning, and reactive play is a really great way to get consistent wins. But as we all know, winning isn't the only thing that matters in a game. What also matters is how fun people are to play against.
Yeah.
And yeah, as time went on, this game went from a wild ball-to-the-walls brawl to a very slow-paced fencing match.
Maybe it's just the way that I'm playing it. Maybe it's because I'm not like in the competitive scene at all anymore. And my brother and I we're competitive level players, and we would always have fun playing with each other, and neither of us have ever used any camping strategies one little bit.
And I think a lot of people have felt that the magic is kind of lost in that. The more methodical style of gameplay the Smash games usually evolve towards is so rough because it just doesn't really mimic the fantasy of the game. Smash in concept is about getting in there, taking stocks, and standing at the top of the hill after a nice, fair battle.
Yeah, it's about combat, and they made it a game that's not combat related at all. It's just a campy thing. So I understand people's frustrations with it, but why do people like... I've never seen people actually like turn around and start to hate Smash Bros. Maybe they're hating the competitive scene? Maybe.
And you can see this by basically watching any casual people or any young people ever playing the game for fun. When you're doing that, you run in, you try to do cool combos, you try to kill as many people as possible.
You're playing it wrong. You're playing it wrong.
And usually you don't see that many people sitting back doing nothing for minutes and minutes on end, avoiding the enemy as much as they can, unless they're specifically trying to either troll their friends, in which case they're going to get socially bullied to stop, or they just want to win so bad. But again, they're only going to do that for one game or two. And
yeah, they definitely need to have something like an AI within the code or something that could tell if you're like actively avoiding combat. That would solve the entire problem.
And go back to playing the game normally. And while yes, you can just deal with it, and you can just deal with watching the slow, methodical gameplay, and while that is something that you should do to win, most players play Smash mainly just for fun, not to improve or to get better or anything like that, but you could see how that could be kind of frustrating to a lot of people, a lot of fans, and even just a lot of players. If you want an obvious example of how...
Dude, I was getting pissed just watching that Falco. it's just not fun to play against. I get it though. Like the creator of the video here said, I understand if that's what you want to do at a competitive level, you have to do what you have to do to win. It's a safe way to win. It's not fun to play like that.
How Smash Ultimate has changed, I think the most easy way to see that is just the changing of the guard of the top tiers in this game. From early on, we had such an amazing meta of mainly semi-aggressive, pretty interesting characters that definitely ruled it. We had characters like Pichu, Joker, Pokemon Trainer, Wolf, Lucina, Wario, Mario, and Peach, just to name a few.
And it's always funny how it changes too, eh? I remember when, Piranha Plant first came out, everybody's like, oh my god, this is the worst character in Smash Bros. History, just for it to be at the top of tier list soon.
And while they didn't necessarily always go in, they also definitely didn't camp. And for the most part, they scrapped it out whenever they possibly could. And as well, we had characters like Roy, which were just, running down people at all times, just trying to kill whoever they could. And, while these characters are still definitely playable today and still pretty darn good today, you definitely know the characters that are popular right now. And yeah, they aren't nearly as fun to watch or as fun to play versus as the old guard. And
yeah, again, like, I don't mean to sound like a broken record here, but it seems like the only solution to that is to actually like have something that would end up like, you can tell, have somebody watching the match or something if you're playing competitive, something along those lines, right?
I think it's kind of unfortunate because, yeah, if we would have just continued with the old meta of Smash Ultimate, I think the game might have ended up in a slightly better place. But it is just kind of what it is, unfortunately. I'll give Sakurai's team their props. Smash Ultimate is a much more balanced game compared to all the previous entries.
Oh, and could you imagine, too, trying to balance that level of cast? That's something that I've always commended Smash Bros. For, and the team over there is Sakurai, and how much of their effort they're actually putting into competitive Smash. This game is as balanced as you can make it at the moment.
You can pick up most characters and do well enough, which honestly is a feat on its own with so many characters in the game.
Yeah.
So that's all well and good, but we can't ignore the Steve in the room or like half the fighters in Fighter Pass 2. And what happened over COVID?
There's a little bit of extra to quite a few of these characters, eh? But I do like it. I like the gimmicks that these characters come with. I like the extra moves. It's too bad not all the characters can have these types of things.
Like, why did the balancing for this game just give up? Why didn't they meaningfully nerf anyone past Min Min or do anything after Sora was added? Like, bye-bye, I guess. This is such a weird choice by Nintendo. Drop a ton of characters and then just leave them alone.
What are you talking about? They got their money. They don't care. It's going to be the last update for Smash Bros. They could care less. Hey, buy our Sora, buy our Fighter Pass.
They're, in my opinion, pretty obviously rushed/unbalanced COVID state. Like, I definitely understand. It was COVID. It makes sense. You couldn't get everyone out perfectly. But they could have released a patch at literally any point, even to this day.
I thought that they did come out with a patch after Sora. I thought there was one patch and then it was announced to be like the final patch of Smash Bros. I could be misremembering that though.
But they haven't. And I really, really have no idea why. Other than the fact that the higher ups are like, yeah, there's no more content for this game. So.
Yeah, that's definitely what it was. Sakurai cares about his game so much that he probably want to push out updates. That's how I see it coming. And then Nintendo is like, nah.
There's no changes for the game. See ya. And for a game in 2024, that is just kind of jarring. Moving on, I think in a lot of cases, Smash Ultimate can be fun. But a key hidden source of burning hatred that I've seen seeping into the culture of Smash Ultimate for basically everyone is the fact that
that's what I've noticed as well. Because while I don't play competitive Smash much anymore, I don't actually like playing tournaments anymore. That's what I mean. I have seen the hatred kind of come about.
Smash Ultimate Online is horrible.
Oh, I don't even bother. Dude, if Nintendo had dedicated servers and I'd be able to actually play, like I have expensive internet and expensive hardware. If I can actually sit down and I could play Smash Bros, I would have an entire Smash Bros channel. Or maybe I'd stream on this channel. I love playing competitive Smash, but I don't even bother playing online.
And having to deal with it for years and years and years is so draining and has made so many players go crazy. Multiply that by the fact that, of course, these defensive, projectile, or hitbox bashy characters get far stronger online, so you're probably going to play against them a lot more often. Yeah, that is just kind of rough. For a lot of people, they want to play the character they want to play, and online doesn't really let them do that. If they want a fast, aggressive, precise character, well, good luck. That's really all I can say. And I think this added together creates a horrible experience for most players who log on today, unless you're playing one of those more forgiving online characters.
Yeah, no, I don't even play online. Again, the only person that I play Smash Bros with is my brother. That's the only person. We don't even live together anymore, so it's like, what can you do?
Now, luckily for us, Smash Ultimate Online is only the main way that 99% of players play this game. So, so that's kind of
Hey,
right.
dude, it's the Nintendo fans' fault. They'll eat anything up. They'll eat anything up. Nintendo knows that they all sit down like good boys and like, well, yeah, I'll play your online. I'll play your online, but everybody, no, just need to vote with your wallet at some point, man.
And I think the hardest part about it is that if you do want to win, even if you want to win just mainly in person, you probably still do need to practice online, since you really can't grind as much just in person compared to people that are grinding online all the time. So
But then you're so used to having that lag that it makes you almost play worse sometimes. If you played so much online, it makes you play worse when you actually end up playing in competitive, like with real time.
leads to a lot of people putting themselves through the suffering of Smash Ultimate online. And I think over the years and years, the hatred definitely does boil hot from this. When I personally play online, a lot of the times I do kind of want to have some fun. And to be honest, a weird kind of Smash Ultimate specific problem for online, but also in person, I guess, is the fact that there are quite a few characters that, while they may not necessarily be camping all the time, they're also kind of forcing you to camp, which feels very weird because
I kind of get what he means by that. I thought he was going to say that some characters are a little bit more friendly when they're online. Like the handful of times that I've played online, I don't know if this is consistent for everybody else. I've struggled with people like Richter, for example, where you're just throwing crap and then your game's lagging and then you just walk into it and I'm like, I wasn't even near that.
if you interact with these characters, you just die. I mean, we got Luigi, we got Kazuya, we even kind of, in a weird case, have Bayonetta or Game & Watch. There's these characters where if you press a button and if you try to go in, you could take 100% or even your entire stock. And like, what's the solution for that? Well, it's to wait there. It's to do nothing. You have to let them move first and then punish them. Because again, if you do go in and you do get hit, you die. And really, no one wants to play like that.
Yeah, the online isn't even worth playing. I don't know how people stream it. I don't know how people play online consistently. It is such an unfun experience to me, and this is arguably my favorite game ever. Like, my favorite game's Fortnite, but throughout my entire life, this has been my favorite game. I miss the days where I could play this game. Like, somehow the online quality got worse from Smash Bros. Wii U, which is crazy to say. I don't get it. I don't play it at all. How do people play
No
it?
one really wants to watch that. These issues could be kind of fixed by reworking the characters, by maybe taking some strengths from them from one aspect and then moving it to somewhere else instead.
Or just getting online servers. Even Nintendo, even like if Nintendo were to get them and make it a subscription, people would pay for that too. Honestly, for Smash Bros, I would pay that as well.
But it seems like that isn't really what Nintendo wants to do anymore, and it leaves just quite a few characters that feels like you can't really interact with them and just very frustrating to play against. Connected to the idea I just talked about, you've probably heard a lot of people complaining about characters like Luigi, like Kazuya. And I think as time goes on, a lot of just expressions or ideas become a lot more socially acceptable for each Smash game.
Yeah, you know what, the problem is when you have characters like specifically Luigi or Kazuya is actually like the perfect example for it. I don't like characters and I don't like playing against characters, one, that are campy and you do nothing, or two, they don't actually let you play the game. Like, my brother had a period where he was playing Luigi and is really good at the combos, which that's fine. Like, you're great at the combos, good for you for learning that. But it's not a fun experience when you literally can't do anything inside the combos.
And oftentimes it's for good reasons, such as like, crouch canceling in Melee, which is quite annoying, rage kills in Smash 4, or just tripping in Brawl. But the main thing is that these players don't necessarily hate their entire game. I think they're just trying to put the frustration that they've had over the years of playing the game into something that they can, attack as a punching bag vocally. And while they might not hate every single thing about the game, there are certain things that they can complain about to get that frustration out while not necessarily hurting anyone's feelings in particular. Some people get pent up emotions over games, especially over years where it feels like they should be finally beating their friends. Or
I don't know, man. I don't think that you should actually be getting that bent out of shape over video games. Like, I understand if there's like money on the line and you're a competitive player, you shouldn't be raging either way, but it's understandable to get frustrated in that. But just over this, no, that's not something you should be getting upset about. If something's not fun, I don't play it. That's why I don't play online.
Finally winning tournaments now, but they're just not. So, gut punching Sonic Spin Dash, or complaining about Game & Watch having a fast, invincible frame through out of shield option that also combos while no one else does, or, complaining about two framing or spot dodge canceling or anything like that.
It happens. It's a video game. It's a part of the game. You have no reason to get mad at that, like legitimately upset.
Definitely help you blossom in Steam without being rude or offending most players. In fact, in most situations, I think it actually kind of builds camaraderie with other players, as most players also dislike the same things or relate to using the same excuses.
Yeah, misery loves company, right? It's been a saying since the dawn of time.
This is a thing that happens with most older games as the meta solidifies, and yeah, this game is older. And next year, it'll actually be the oldest any Smash game has ever been since the last one.
Makes me sad, man. I want another Smash Bros. We could be talking about Smash content all of the time on this channel if there's another Smash Bros game coming out.
And with a new console coming out, maybe kind of soonish, I think what that's led to is a lot of us kind of giving up on this game a little bit and just mainly thinking, you know, eventually a deluxe version is going to come out or a new game's going to come out.
Dude, that's what I would love. You cannot beat Smash Ultimate, so you just need a deluxe version. You need like another Fighter's Pass just to keep it going. You need a couple patches.
And that'll fix all the issues. They're expecting a new one, they're waiting for a new one, so why bother trying to ground out a game that's gonna die anyways, that has so many problems anyways?
I don't think Smash Bros will die though. It has too big of a dedicated player base for it to die.
May as well just hate on it and have the hopium that the next game is going to be perfect, even though it definitely won't be.
Dude, what sucks, man, is they were talking about it. I'm not sure if it was Sakurai or if it was somebody from the from actual, you know, the dev team of Smash Bros. But they were saying something like this could never happen again. The Everybody's Here thing. No, you gotta make a deluxe version of it. You can't have less characters.
This with Brawl, with Smash 4, and now with Ultimate. And let's be real, in a few years, I think most of us probably will miss Smash Ultimate, like I personally do with Smash 4 now, because it will probably be replaced. I don't think Smash Ultimate is really a good enough of a masterpiece like Melee to outlast a sequel. As long as Smash 6 comes out and is pretty good, it's probably going to replace what we have for Ultimate's player base now. And people will just move on to the new game and the cycle will repeat. That game instead will eventually become hated, and Ultimate, well, I think a lot of us will start to love it again. I think the fact that we won't necessarily have to play against a lot of these broken characters or these strategies, because we're just playing the game a lot more casually, that's going to bring us back to it. I think
maybe, but I don't know. There's people with their pretty strong hatred over here. Yeah, there's a whole problem with gamers just not being happy in general, man.
We're going to love a lot of the memories it gave and the fun time at friends' houses that we had, the hard-won tournament victories we pulled out, and the crushing money matches that we lost.
Especially if another game comes out, then they're going to look back on it fondly. Then they're going to look back and they're going to go, oh yeah, remember the good old days in Smash Ultimate? We didn't have it so bad, eh?
Smash Ultimate will be hated for now, and probably even for a few years, and with a lot of pretty good reasons. But I am excited for the time where nostalgia takes over once again, and Ultimate becomes the GOAT that many of us once thought it was. Speaking of becoming the GOAT, I honestly think a lot of Smash players have practiced a ton, tried to improve, and gotten really freaking good at Smash Ultimate, which, in all honesty, can cause some problems on its own.
I don't know, like I personally love the competitive nature of Smash Bros. That's the best version of Smash for me. I actually, as much as I love Smash Bros, I don't like I don't like playing with items on and all of that. I think it's cool that you have all the Pokemon and all the different items from different video games. I like the crazy stages, but I like that it's there, but I do love the version of Smash that's like just pure competitive. It's one of those games that I love playing competitively, you know what I mean? But if you want to talk a little bit more about gaming in general, why don't you check out this video about gaming in the 2000s? I would love to have you over there. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Take care, guys.